Hi, everyone. Connie Canella Aramento here, CEO of SoulSync Wellness and certified integrative health and lifestyle coach and intuitive life strategist. Today, I'm not talking about the Super Bowl, but if you are curious, I am rooting for the Panthers, especially since New England's not in the Super Bowl. You always got to pick that one team, right? Okay, back to the Desire Map. So, want to share with you a little bit about the Desire Map experiences that I have been facilitating over the past year, what they're all about, how it's helped me in my life, and how I want to help more people like you. So for me, my personal mission is to help driven, intelligent, busy people just like yourself live a purposeful and healthy life. I know you're all like, yeah, sounds wonderful. How do you do that, Connie? So certainly through one-on-one coaching, group programs, retreat experiences, those are some examples of ways that I do that. So let's hone in a little bit into the Desire Map. So how did the Desire Map and I meet? Okay, and I joke all the time, but I always say I'm married to it. Okay, we're in a serious relationship, if you will. I know my husband might get jealous, but it is. It's a relationship, and let me tell you a little bit about it. So about 4.5 years ago, I was at my ultimate life low, okay? I had just had my daughter, who, of course, at that time, first-time mother, should be the best time in your life. But with that came a lot of health concerns and issues. I was faced with vertigo. I was faced with hormonal imbalances, and I was just not myself. At the same time, my boss had retired, and I was up for a promotion to take her position at my job, and I didn't get it. And at the same time, I had a beloved uncle, 52 years old, had died of cancer very quickly, who I considered my mentor and like a dad. So my life was crumbling, everything was crushing, and I honestly was at my low point. I had no purpose. I had no health, and I knew that I needed to get it back. So I knew I had to ask myself some serious questions. And so I had recently just read the Fire Starter Sessions by Danielle LaPorte, and I loved them. It was great. It honestly ignited something within me. And then the Desire Map came out by Danielle LaPorte, and honestly, I was probably attracted to it mainly because I love the colors. It was the same colors as my logo. I'm very connected with purples and reds at a spiritual and emotional level. And so I was like, ooh, it's like when you see something you really want to buy at the store and you're like, there, or a kid in a toy shop type of a thing. And so I flipped the book around, and it had one question, and it said, how do you want to feel? So I looked at the book and I was like, well, not like this. I don't want to feel like this, like how I felt that day. And so I was like, okay, and I kind of opened it and looked at it. I started to read her book a little bit, and I was like, oh, her voice is pretty cool. She's like in your face. She's real. I love it. So I dug in. And there were 5 areas that the book explores that I think are so essential when it comes to your health and wellness, and certainly understanding yourself a bit more. So number 1, your body and wellness. Number 2, your relationships and society. Number 3, your creativity and your learning. Number 4, your livelihood and your lifestyle. And the last one is your essence and your spirituality. Not in any given order, but those are all the 5. And so I was asked, what was I grateful for in all of these areas? What was I most dissatisfied, right? And then ultimately, how do I want to feel? So I went through all of that. And as a result, I found, after I went through that there are 5 feelings that I want to feel every day. The first and foremost was I want to feel intuitive every day. Number 2, I want to feel inspirational every day. Number 3, I want to feel creative every day. Number 4, I want to feel abundance every day. And number 5, I want to feel balanced every day. So that was then, right? So we're talking about years back. And so I love this book so much that I was like, wow, I've developed my core desired feelings. I started to wake up every day and say, I want to feel fill in the blank. And I ended my day the same way. And then I started to see things were changing. Even people would come to me and say, wow, Connie, are you okay? Like, you seem very quiet. or you're not the same person. And so I would say to them, instead of, yes, I'm changing, or I've changed my thought or perspective, I would say, yes, I'm evolving. And I wouldn't tell them about the desire map at the time. I just was doing it, right? And because I was testing it, I wanted to see what happened. And so what happened, right? So what happened? I started to see that, especially at work, at a place that I was feeling resentful, I didn't leave my job. I stayed right where I was, and I started to value the opportunities that were in front of me. I started to find and feel that creativity. I started to listen to my intuition more. And I started to inspire. I started to inspire based on learning more about who I was, what my strengths are, what my gifts were. And it forced me and encouraged me to really take a look inside and be proud of those things. I gave myself permission to do that. I gave myself permission to be okay with who I was and who I am. And that was hard to do. And so through this process, through the desire map, I was really able to do that for myself. I also noticed that even health-wise, I started to access the right kinds of care. I finally found what helped me with my vertigo after I had ruled out anything serious. And I got myself back into health. And I also noticed that I started to see it bleed into other parts in my life, and the people that were around me started to, my reaction with them or how I was interacting was different because I felt like I had evolved into myself, because I had chosen to feel these 5 core desired feelings every day. My business started to launch. I made a decision that I was going to do it wholeheartedly, not as a hobby, but that I was going to start to put in this kind of energy into it. And I'm on my way. So these are some examples of how it has helped me in my particular life, and it's continuing to help me. These core desired feelings are within me every day. I wake up and do the same thing every day. So level 1, when you come and experience level 1, retreat with myself, that's what we do. We take a look and develop what your core desired feelings. You leave the retreat experience with these core desired feelings, right? Because we have to understand how we want to feel. But till we get there, we have to ask ourselves some really key questions. And that's what participants have experienced over the past year-ish, is that opportunity to get to know themselves and give themselves permission to go in, as Danielle LaPorte says. And here's the thing. I find that a lot of people don't want to do it. And when I tell them about this, take some time for yourself, give yourself permission to ask yourself some questions. Most of the time I say, they're like, yeah, sounds great, but I just got all these things I have to do, or, I don't have the money right now, or I've got to pay bills, whatever that is. And so, what I say to them all the time is that if you don't take one day to focus on yourself, to ask yourself these questions, to learn more about who you are, how will you be able to pay your bills? How will you be able to continue to do all the things that you want to do? Or will you continue to feel stuck, stressed, unhappy, confident, right? Listen, I had excuses too. Sometimes I still have them, and I need to remind myself of them. I'm not perfect. But I give myself permission to take the time that I need to take care of the things that I need to take care of for myself. So that way I'm a better mom, I'm a better businesswoman, I'm a better neighbor, I'm a better friend, I'm a better sister, I'm a better daughter, all of those things. We have to think about that. We have to give ourselves that permission to take that time for ourselves. So that way we can do all the things that we want to do in a way that makes sense for all of us. So that's level 1. Level 2, right? Level 2 is really taking those core desired feelings, because I fully believe that once you develop those core desired feelings, you have to live them day in and day out to see how things change and how you evolve ultimately, right? And how it impacts you in a positive way. And if you feel like those are yours, right? So it took me a while, and I say this a lot to people today. I'm always like, I am really good on feeling creative, intuitive, and inspirational. That abundance thing and that balance thing, like I'm still working on that, right? They take time. They take time, but they're still mine. They're still my core desired feelings. You have different ones for yourself. So the journey for level 1 is developing those for yourself and discovering them for yourself. Once you then go out and live your life every day and see how they feel for you, right? Because we've got to check in and see how our feelings feel. Then level 2 is focused on now that action plan of how do we make these really come to fruition, right? Day in and day out. What do we already have? What don't we have? Most of the time we have the stuff in front of us, but we're just not paying attention to them. So what do we already have? What don't we have? What resources do we need? How do we get there? And my favorite stuff, which is talking to the little buggers inside of our brains that stop us from getting there. They're called excuses, fear, shame, guilt, perfectionism. I could keep going. We all have them. Those are the little voices inside us that tell us you can't do this or it's not right or whatever, right? Don't do it. You can't. You got to pay a bill, all that kind of stuff, right? Why? What are they? How are they preventing us from ultimately achieving our dreams? And trust me, I'm somebody that is just as realistic as idealistic, okay? It's really important for us to get real with this kind of stuff so that way we can move forward and set our action plans to really make our dreams ultimately come to fruition. Because if we want to live a purposeful life, if we want to live a healthy life, we do have to make important choices. And we have to ask ourselves what's most important in our life. But to get to that place, we have to ask ourselves ultimately, how do we want to feel every day? You've got to ask yourself, how do you want to feel every day first? You can't make your goals until you ask yourself that question. Goal setting, literally, I feel like has been made backwards, right? We often make the goals and then a year later we don't achieve them. We're like, why? Well, because you didn't ask yourself how you actually wanted to feel. And do you feel like those felt right for you? So that's level 2, okay? We dig into all of that. So the next level 1 retreat is April 23rd from 9 to 5:30 in Holden, Massachusetts. My next level 2 retreat is March 6th, 9 to 5:30 in Holden, Massachusetts. I would love to have you join me in on this life-changing experience and join the rest who have done it with me the past year and a half. And honestly, you're among such a large community really in this world. There's so many others that are living their life with, instead of a goal setting perspective, a soul setting perspective, because you have to really feed your soul and nourish your soul with what it needs, and ultimately ask the right questions. We have to ask ourselves those questions to get to the place of really feeling like we are joyful, happy, whatever that is for you. And I'd love to be able to help you with that process. We have to trust the process as well with all of this in our wonderful lives. So I'd love to have you join our wonderful experiences, either level 1 or level 2. If you're interested in doing this in a one-on-one format, please also contact me at soulsync.wellness.com. And you can go to that website and click on Work With Me, Desire Map Retreats, and then you'll learn a lot about some more information regarding the Desire Map Retreats and ultimately how to register. And this is great to do with friends, family members, or even colleagues. And I look forward to doing it with you in the future. Lastly, let's keep chatting because I'd love to talk to people. I'd love to learn about your awesomeness that you're doing in your life. So feel free to follow me on Twitter at SoulSync Wellness, SoulSyncWellness, and on Instagram. So have an awesome Sunday. I look forward to talking with you all soon. Until then, have fun tonight, be safe, and hope your team wins for the Super Bowl. Bye.